Hi, my name is Tracy Matthews. I'm the staff liaison for the Business Advocacy Committee for the Campbell County Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm visiting with candidate Darin Edmonds, who's running for the position of City Councilman for Ward 1. We've invited Mr. Edmonds to talk today about his views on business issues here in Campbell County. First off, Mr. Edmonds, if you would introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Darin Edmonds. I'm a fairly lifelong resident of Campbell County. I grew up here, went to high school here, spent part of my young life here. Left to go finish college and start a family. Moved back to Campbell County in 2008. Have been here ever since. We made a choice to come back. I know what this community is. And what it means to me. It means a lot. It's been very good to me and my family. I also serve as the sexton for the Campbell County Cemetery District, which I feel that aspect of my public service is probably my greatest qualification for this office. In that position, I sit on the other side of an elected board, so I administrate a county-wide district for them, so it allows me the opportunity to not only see their side of the process, but to know the ramifications and mechanics of the downstream part of that process, the administration, the finances, the budgeting, all similar or identical to the same requirements that the city of Gillette has. So I think I would hit the ground running in that regard, and this opportunity for public service is an extension of what I do. I am a public servant. I grew up, my parents instilled in me the aspect of service and giving back to your community. So that's what I would like to do with this opportunity.
Awesome, thank you. First question, are you in favor of the optional 1% sales tax? Why or why not?
I am, and I'm old enough to know when it was passed the first time, and it was a really big deal in this community. And I've had the benefit of seeing what it's done for this community. I mean, people always say, you go somewhere else, the roads are bad, and you come back to Campbell County and the roads, oh, we're so lucky, we're so lucky. Well, most of those are paid for with the optional 1%. I think the biggest reason I'm in favor of the optional 1% is for the fact that it is optional. It's a fair tax that the people get to decide, and then it becomes the responsibility of the elected officials to wisely administer that gift that is given to them by the public. So, and I think over the last 40 years, there's still a large percentage of people that opt for that tax, after 40 years. So. Yeah, I think it's been a great thing for Campbell County. I mean, if you look around, everywhere you look, there's things that have been paid for with the 1% that other communities that don't benefit from that just don't have. So,
awesome, thank you. Next, what do you feel are the key responsibilities of the role of City Councilman? Well,
I think number one, you have to be a good listener. I see that in my job. My job requires me to be a good listener. Our district serves all 50,000 residents of Campbell County. They all have different points of view, different perspectives, different opinions. So you have to be able to listen, and I think you also have to be able to, you have to make wise decisions. So, you've got to be able to study and understand and kind of do your homework to understand, both sides of an issue, not just your own personal issue or what maybe a few of your constituents may have said, their opinions are. It's a service position. It's not a personal platform. So I think, that is a great tenet to this position, is that, it's not about me. It's about everybody else, and I think you always have to be cognizant of that in your approach to whatever the issues are that are before you. So, if I had to, pick a top two, I think that would be it. I mean, people want to be heard. We give them platforms to be heard, and I think you need to be very sensitive to that. So.
And our final question: what would you do to improve the overall business climate for the city of Gillette?
You know, that's a great question. You know, I think for a number of years, you know, that's a topic that comes on. How can we attract businesses to this community? What can we do? And it's a tough question because I don't think there's a magic bullet answer. But you know, I think, you know, cities and counties are in a position, you know, to really be stimulators of economic growth. You know, whether that's through tax incentives for new businesses relocating. You know, there seems to be some of that going on in Wyoming right now, in Sheridan and Cheyenne. You know, there's something that's attracting these businesses to those communities. You know, and I think the entities that are in a position to guide that, I think need to be sensitive, and I think it needs to always be on their forefront. I mean, a great deal of the funding for the city, you know, obviously comes from sales tax revenue, so you want to have businesses do well. You want them to sell more widgets and more food, a restaurant, whatever it is, because, you know, that's going to pave more roads and fix more sewer lines and you know, water lines and parks and you know, all of those kinds of things. So the business climate, you know, and I think the city and the county need to be very, very supportive of that and you know, out in front of those initiatives to, you know, not only grow the businesses that are here or encourage them to expand, but to, you know, if there are businesses in industries, I'm very excited about, you know, the X Prize project going on out at the Dry Fork station, because I think, you know, like with the coal mines or the oil, there are industries that follow those core businesses, you know, the service industries, the support industries. You know, and I think if you're out in front of that and, you know, aggressively pursuing that, you know, that's going to increase the business climate in Gillette and in Campbell County, which is, you know, as the entity, you know, technically speaking, is driven by the sales tax revenue. So, you know, I mean, I think as an entity, you want that revenue to provide the services that you are providing. And, you know, when more people move to Gillette, you need more police officers, you need more firefighters, on down the line. And so you want those businesses to do well for those reasons. And it makes the community better. You know, businesses bring in new people, new opportunities, new kinds of businesses. So, you know, I think the city as an entity and a governmental entity is not the only one that benefits. I mean, everybody benefits. I like to use Pizza Carrillo as an example. I mean, it started on a trailer, you know, on the back of a truck, and has grown into, I mean, just a tremendously successful. I tell everybody about that, and I don't even know the owners, but it's if you've paid attention to that and have eaten there and kind of know that story, it's a fantastic story. I mean, it really is, and I think that can be the story for any business in Campbell County. They started with nothing and have grown, you know, organically into just a fantastic thing, and there isn't any reason that other businesses couldn't do that same kind of thing. So,
awesome. Thank you so much. I enjoyed visiting with you today.
Thank you for having me.